surviving through to the end. My name is Stephen Lowe. I work in Sustainable Futures, which is a part of the University of Manchester. We also have a stall outside, sadly not at the bar, although we probably will be at the bar later, so we're willing to, always happy to answer any questions. So I want to give you a bit of an introduction as to what Sustainable Futures is and what it's about. And the first real question to ask about what is Sustainable Futures is, what is the University of Manchester? And obviously we all know it's a cluster of buildings on Oxford Road, but it's an institution that's been part of Greater Manchester's life for 200 years. We're actually celebrating our bicentennial this year alongside OMU, and Sustainable Futures was a real part of the celebrations of that, about celebrating our research and our impact on sustainability locally. But in a university in numbers, if you like, and we have just over 7,000 academic staff, over 4,000 students. We attract just under £400 million of research funding every year. We now have 25 Nobel Prize winners and 1 Brian Cox, which sounds great, and yes, it really is. And we also have 22 research-focused interdisciplinary research institutes, which, yeah, that's fantastic. But as we've heard from all through today, and indeed on this panel, sustainability is an interdisciplinary problem. It's about finding different ideas from different people and bringing them all together to solve these key issues. Sustainability is not just one issue, it's a huge, huge problem. It's a wicked problem, as we sometimes say. And we've sort of tried to get our head around it by classifying sustainability challenges in these 6 areas. So resilience, equity, resources, skills, health, and net zero. But these are all massively interlinked, and it's also important to emphasise that social and environmental sustainability and indeed economic sustainability are inextricably linked. One of the things we're particularly concerned about in Sustainable Futures is this idea of unintended consequences. If you were in the earlier session, you will have heard the Director of Sustainable Futures, Professor Mike Shaver, talking. His focus is on sustainable polymers. So he does a lot of work around the chemistry of plastics and how plastics degrade and how we manufacture them, how we source the ingredients potentially for polymers. And that's a really key area where we see this massive sustainability challenge of plastic pollution, microplastics and ocean plastics. Or it's tempting to say, well, let's just do away with plastics. Our consequence of that will be that food waste will skyrocket and access to food for the entire sections of society will diminish. So we need to be more, we need to think more around the subject and find new solutions. And the way Sustainable Futures tries to do that is by finding the right experts at the right place in the university. Across, as I say, these 22 research-focused institutes. And that doesn't just stop at the border of the university either. We work with academics from all over the world and all over the UK. In fact, we work very closely with the other universities in Greater Manchester. And we've worked with our internationalisation team to work out how we can better engineer the agreements and collaborations we have with universities around the world while keeping our carbon footprint as low as possible, which is obviously a challenge if people are going to fly out to Melbourne or Hong Kong for a meeting, which has happened in academia. So this is a really key part of what we do. But also, we are an externally focused group, so we work with all sorts of different businesses and organisations, from the really big companies like Unilever, Hyundai, down to SMEs, and so we're always willing to work with different people in the sustainability sphere. And another a sort of final thing to say is that one thing we try to do, and I kind of lead this on the project, is to come up with new and imaginative ideas to tackle sustainability problems. Areas like electrification of the road network, not just cars, but micro-mobility, greenwashing, the value of AI and the challenges of AI in terms of data, but the possibilities for solutions to environmental problems that could present. And finally, just to say that we have this kind of motto, which is Sustainable Futures aligns, connects, grows, and celebrates research. And the theme of this session is stand up and be heard, and we feel that Sustainable Futures allows researchers to stand up and be heard when they've got important things to say about sustainability, which aren't always convenient. So, thank you very much all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, that